Oh, I'm pretty sure I pulled something in my neck. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak correctly because how much my neck is absolutely going off on me. But we get Goizo World of Horrors, so this is a normal run, all things considered. But as for what's happening in real life, I mean, I think things are gonna get sorted out. I guess we'll find out. But as we get into this run, yeah, hopefully nothing else weird happens this month, and I can finally, get things finished on my plate that I have finished on my plate as we get into Goizo World of Horror random item stat custom character once more. But yeah, my neck hurts, so I must have pulled something while I was doing, because I do things around where I'm living at. And as we see, Dexterity, Charisma, Takushi-san, Second Mystery, Knowledge, and maybe a second encounter check. Yeah, I must have pulled a muscle somehow, even though I don't really think I've done anything. I do sit in a not very body-friendly way that basically I slump a lot. But I don't think that alone would have caused this, because I'm always slumping to some extent as I'm sitting on this chair that I'm on anyway. So it wasn't anything while I was working. It had to have been something while I was doing basically physical labor around me. So I guess we'll see in the coming days if it goes away. Otherwise, it's something interesting to note. Sailors, Metamorphosis, Mermaid. Actually, no, we get Colt, Shibas, and Coma instead. Into Metamorphosis and Sailors. But whether or not I'm doing it in that order, probably not. But we will save Colt for later. Probably do Coma last. Metamorphosis third. Oh, Sailors might be fourth instead, though. But we can take Shibas now, because we're going to skip this boss. So, as we get into this run, nothing really much else to both admit and to talk about outside of the recording, because I am trying to get things finished on my plate, as I may have said before or after the timestamp. And more importantly, that video games, game development, video games. But I know one of them is not going to be in a complete state, although I might still put it up for a thing, or open donations. I'm undecided, because I know I'm going to continue working on it. I'm literally sitting here, well, my notes aren't in front of me, but basically, if you don't know Sublime Text, you can open up a bunch of tabs, and I forgot to grab a weapon, by the way, but are we going to be okay here, actually? I am autopiloting a bit too much. No, we're just going to run here. So, actually, I could use this. Yeah, that would have helped if I were going to run away. Yeah, so anywho, we'll use the small candle. But yeah, it's Sublime Text. You can open a bunch of tags. You can open up a bunch of tags, and even if you close the software, those tabs. Oh my goodness, my neck pain cannot be causing this on me. Actually, let me do the PlayStation first. We do have Coma, so we can set the hospital. What's my high threat level? Oh, Forest. Well, still gonna do the hospital, but I'm crossing my fingers. I don't think I have. I know I have Colt, but I don't think that takes it to the forest as much as I think it may. So hopefully things will be better in the run. The Colt Diary helps, but we're just crossing our fingers here. So yeah, so the notes are hiding on another tab on Sublime Text Editor, and so I know I'm sitting on a bunch of things I could do and continue doing for the game that I'm working on, which I plan to be a continuous game anyway. It was not going to be a small game by any means, but the other two, on the other hand, were planned to be shorter, and one of them is basically just in hiatus, so really I'm talking about games 2 and 3. So, as we see Metamorphosis here, probably going to take Colt instead. We could get away from the boss of Colt. If we don't, then, well, small candle, time to show your stuff. Otherwise, we're probably just going to be gambling with 3 attacks, because it is by no means guaranteed. Otherwise, Mind Drain will help out. But yeah, the small candle is going to have to pull a lot of the heavy lifting. Am I using that phrase right? Oh my goodness gracious. Another thing I've noticed is that as I review my own recordings, nice knowledge check by the way, but thankfully that didn't hurt me, is that my voice does sound a bit monotone at times. Now, you may disagree, and some people may agree, but I think that for the most part, there are definitely moments in which I listen to myself and I go, ooh. Now, most of the time I have myself kind of on AFK, like when I finish a recording, I do listen back to it at times. I should do it all the time, and that's why I say I catch so many of my audio mistakes. Sometimes I've missed it, as you may have seen some World of Horror videos in which I did miss them, but then I promptly took them down. Otherwise, I mean, technically these World of Horror videos are also stream-like videos, but that's a category I put in the brackets of my description. In case you were, I'm pointing as if you can see my finger moving, but in the description, I may use put in brackets stream-like video. That essentially means I'm not editing the video at all, but that wouldn't be true for World of Horror because I am editing it. I'm basically putting the end screen, and if Bunny appears on screen, not Censor Bunny because that's on hotkey, funny enough, on my OBS, then yeah, it's technically an edited video. Now, there are not many edits, but hey. So I think I might end up throwing the human skull. Otherwise, Mind Drain. Yeah, Mind Drain instead. We can Mind Drain more, or we can gamble on 12 damage. Let's find out. Nope. Shouldn't have gambled at all. Well, hey. But yeah, I'll try to rewind back to what I was talking about. I want to get better at basically speaking even more than I am now. And some people may say, well, Jordan, you're already doing, what you do here. It's fine, it's okay. But I want to be great if that's not the case. Now, if I'm doing badly, I want to do good at least. So, as we get into Metamorphosis here, one key factor very obviously will be to stop and take a breath and think at times. But, ooh, flesh regrowth. But there's so much I can say, and as I mentioned before, if you didn't already think about it, yeah, having dead air on your video, at least if you're doing commentary or doing videos like I am, then yes. But otherwise, I'm not saying that videos without commentary don't have merit, although robots would disagree at this current point in time. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Then, yeah, I think I would rather use my voice. Again, I'm not saying that even a majority of videos that don't have any human voices at all in them are bad. And I was going to say something else, but I don't know if that's true. So never mind. Basically, I want to get better at speaking, even more than I am now. But that doesn't mean I'm just immediately walking out of my comfort zone, which is also something else that I've seen before. But was that a perk choice? Quick thinking question mark? If it was, quick thinking for the win. That being said, we're taking this damage in the face, but if we can do a lot, well, can we actually brace into 2 attacks? No. Can we even do a strong? We can at 50%. So I think I would rather, well, that's terrible too. Not 7 damage for 3 all, and we have Mind Drain, so you know what? Unless we lose all of our reason somehow, we'll do a Mind Drain, and I think... Oof. Do I? I think we're at 9 or 10 max... I want to say 9 max reason. If that's true, I don't really mind draining again. However, at this point, we definitely brace. And thankfully, this character has 5 strength, or I put 5 strength into the character, or another point of strength into the character. Either way, it's good for me because I don't have to worry about brace kicks not being guaranteed. But right after this, though, I think this is actually 7 damage. Let's find out. 9 damage. I'm going crazy. Anywho. We'll move on. I must be going crazy at this time of technically night. Second sight would have been great earlier, but whatever. And let's actually heal stamina here. So, Sailors into Coma, I think was the plan here. And I should have 2 items to throw. Definitely the human skull, but I can also look for anything else. Otherwise, the handcuffs will probably be the choice. Even if you have Toxie-san, keeping in mind we have 40 or 41% Doom now. Starting our 4th mystery, you're doing very good if you wanted any advice. If you start your 4th mystery and you even have 45% Doom, I say you're in a very good spot. And we have the small candle, so we can even run away for less Doom. And I can probably run away from 4 encounters this whole thing. But, as we're sitting here, could Mind Drain this. Funny enough, if we had another point of knowledge, we'd be doing a lot better. But I can Mind Drain this instead if I really want to be... Yeah, let's just Mind Drain it. I think we're at 8 max reason now, but if we can run away from enemies, events, enemies. Yeah, and with the Doom that we have, we should be okay. Now, resting is gonna be a bit painful because I can't heal as much reason, but... Oh. We should be okay is what I'm trying to say. Now, I really need to not try and Mind Drain if possible. And then we have Flesh Regrowth as well for stamina, so... Another way to look at things is that I should be trading off stamina, and yeah, we will toss these handcuffs because we cannot fight this boss. It'll hurt too much, but we're on timeline A, so never mind. But I didn't know that. 50-50. Assuming it's 50-50. Sometimes games, if we were to talk about game design in general, just decide that something is not 50-50, even though there are two choices. I personally think that if you're splitting choices... Whether it's 2 or 3 choices or 4 choices, the odds of them should all be pretty much equal. So, for example, if there are 4 outcomes, make it 25%. If there are 3, make it 33.33 repeating percent. If you have, well, 33% really. If you have 2 outcomes like timeline A or B, and the odds of that are random, it should be 50-50. It would be very strange, although pretty funny, actually seriously speaking, if Panstaz decided, well, there's a 70% chance you're on timeline B when you hit random timeline. I mean, at that point, also, we have 9 max reason, apparently. But at that point, I mean, I'm not really going to be mad. I don't think they're as much as I may complain about timeline B at times. Is that really free, or is that because of quick thinking? I feel so confused right now. I have not done any homework. But as that story appears in front of our eyes, and we're just going to run from this 3 reason encounter... Yeah, I'm RNG. And if I don't do this for my own games, just know that it is a possibility that I just forgot. Shrug, that's the end of the sentence. And sometimes I will say that it's, I do change my mind, but at times it's also just me forgetting about things, so excuse me if I do. That being said, if my mind change, if someone basically brings up something I said in the past and I decide to change my mind, I mean, that might look bad because it's like, oh, Jordan, you're flip-flopping. I mean, my mind can change too. 8 dexterity, we're taking 2 reason, we don't have a light check, and we should be good doom-wise. In fact, when we enter this lighthouse, I'm going to do this. And away we go. We have 9 max reason. Did I really not use Mind Drain as much, or is it because we had something else? Anywho. I'd be surprised if we can actually give a character max stamina or max reason as their bonus. You can definitely give them Doom, which that I know, but... Yeah, as we stand here now, I realize that Takshi-san here is not going to have a good time. We have Blood Frenzy, and we're taking 4 Doom, but we can afford to take 4 Doom. So we can literally have we can pour some tea for Takshi-san, drink, and we'd still be okay Doom-wise. And if that sounds weird, it's because I'm taking that from, say, say it takes you 25% Doom to investigate a mystery, and mysteries can sometimes be a few days long. Then, yeah, 4 Doom, I mean, that's a lot. But anyway, without further ado, as we end this video here, thank you for watching. If you have anything to say, you know what to do, and I'll see you later. Support me if you want. Bye!